Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu salam ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's Jawahir al-Quran, the jewels of the Quran. We have reached Surah Al-Dukhan, and Imam Al-Ghazali chose 4 verses only. And I think what's remarkable, there are common themes, of course, including creation, a very common theme that Imam Al-Ghazali highlights in his selections. I think not choosing and dukhan, of course, the smoke, not choosing the verse after which the surah itself is named is a remarkable thing, and we'll try to highlight that verse and speak about the nature of what is the dukhan, what is this smoke. This is verse number 10. The verses that Imam Ghazali selected are 7 and 8 and 38 and 39. So, it's not a very long chapter, but all in all, we speak about 59, but very short verses. And again, this is one of the surahs that begin with Hamim. And then there is a mention of the book, of the revelation. So, أعوذ بالله السميع من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حميم والكتاب المبين. By the clear book. إنا أنزلنا في ليلة مباركة. إنا كنا منذرين. Indeed, we sent it down on a blessed night. For we always warn against. For we always warn again. Warn, إنا كنا منذرين. We warn, and warning against evil, against straying away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all forms, including nafs al-amara bi-as-su. So it could be external, it could be internal, this evil. It's not mentioned directly, of course. Inna kunna mundirin stops right there. This Layla Mubarakah, inshallah, it's a reference to the Laylat al-Qadr, in which the Qur'an was revealed, and it means that the Qur'an was revealed from at once from the preserved tablet, Lawh al-Mahfuz, and from that point in the lower heaven, it was revealed over these 23 years to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, munajjaman, as they say, spread out over these years. But it was revealed in one night in the month of Ramadan. Typically, we say the night of the 27th. It could be any of the odd nights. In fact, there are indications that it could be in any of these nights. What's more is that it was going to be revealed, but it's the conflicts that took place between people prevented that revelation, as if people did not deserve that kind of knowledge. But suffice it that it is within the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and since it's a lunar month, it is moving. It advances about 11 days approximately every year. So it in about 35 years approximately, it makes a full round, if you will. So it could be in the summer, wait a few months, and it advances to spring, it advances to winter, and then to autumn, and then back again to summer. If someone lives to be 70 years, then he or she would witness the two full circles, I would say. After mentioning the book and the fact that the Quran was revealed in a blessed night, that blessed night, on that night, every matter of wisdom is ordained. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. We speak about, of course, a different chapter, Surah Al-Qadr. A night that is worth, spiritually, of course, 1,000 months, almost the equivalent of an average lifetime. The angels in this descend during this night with the order, by permission from their Lord. Again, with the amr, with the matters that are ordained, and it's a night of peace until dawn. And typically, Muslims would spend the night in prayer. They pray, of course, they pray the Taraweeh at Al-Aqsa Mosque, for example. People pray Isha, pray the Taraweeh, pray the 20 rak'ahs, and they would postpone the witr because it's a night of prayer. And then people take a break, if you will, and they resume the night prayer after an hour or so. Already we talk about during the summer, it's already after midnight. Those who have a break, they might continue with dhikr, they might continue with also praying, they might continue with the recitation of the Quran. There are circles of learning that are spread out. And of course, there are those who would rest, and that's fine. And at Al-Aqsa Mosque, when it's full, I remember before the wall, before the separation wall, before the apartheid wall, before these strict measures that prevent Muslims from freely reaching Al-Aqsa Mosque, they do reach. Maybe not when there's a genocide taking place. But in fact, it's nowadays it's extremely harsh, and people are not allowed. Before noon, yesterday, there was only one young man at Al-Aqsa Mosque, some elderly people. So, on that night, every matter of wisdom is ordained by command from us, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for we have always sent messengers. Humanity has never been abandoned, left to its own whims. The revelation would have guided through and through humanity, but it's altering the message suffering from the vagaries of transmission, deliberately changing things or misinterpreting things, or the introduction of secularism had a big influence on it literally led to the creation of certain sects within Judaism and Christianity, more liberal trends. The idea is to be as true as possible to the Islamic worldview for us and to be faithful to revelation. This is not about extremism, this is about simply uh, subscribing faithfully and respectfully to our way of life, to our worldview based on the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. As a mercy from your Lord, so by a command from us, for we have always sent messengers, as a mercy from your Lord, He alone is truly the all-hearing, all-knowing, Lord of the heavens and the earth, and everything in between, if only you had sure faith. That is the first verse 7, and then 8. There is no God worthy of worship. There is no God except Him. Worthy of worship, of course, and not the meaning of the. Because there are people do take gods, and these are false, and totems, icons, statues. He alone gives life and causes death. He is your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers. لا إله إلا هو يحيي ويميت ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين. In fact, they are in doubt, amusing themselves. بل هم في شك يلعبون. And this is really the amusing themselves, entertaining themselves. And why they are entertaining themselves, amusing themselves, out of a sudden, what happens? A smoke will veil the sky, will veil everything, will descend on them. فارتقب يوم تأتي السماء بدخان مبين. This chapter is named after this dukhan. Now, do we talk about dukhan, the smoke that existed during the time of the Prophet sallallahu when the people of Mecca, that's something that they saw. The Prophet sallallahu invoked a prayer against the people of Mecca, and he asked that they will suffer like the years of Joseph, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, meaning that they will suffer from drought, and they were taken with famine. And smoke here, it was what it has been said that what impaired their vision, but there was also when we talk about smoke, there was really a smoke, and ultimately they went to the Prophet ﷺ and they asked him, though they were still pagan, they asked him to remove this smoke from their environment. Now, the smoke, that would be something different. We talk about the signs of the day, the great signs of the day, the 10 great signs of the day of judgment. In Islam, we have ample minor signs. أشراط الساعة الصغرى. The greater ones are 10. They say the coming of the Mahdi, خروج المهدي. There will be someone from the household of the Prophet ﷺ with the name like the Prophet, and in his father's name will be like the name of the Prophet's father. But calling him a Mahdi is problematic because we have serious scholars who said that there are sound traditions about the coming of this person, but there are no, strictly speaking, sound traditions that use the name Al-Mahdi. So it's a very popular, it's a very popular thing really that is circulating. And the Antichrist, the false, the impostor, the Dajjal, and number 3, Jesus Christ, Isa ibn Maryam, son of Mary, descends, and the appearance, the existence, the coming of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, the destruction of the Kaaba, and the lifting of the Qur'an in the sense of those who stick around, they know the Qur'an no more. Remember that the very last part of this life, before the day of judgment, it will be the worst people. And then it says the smoke, the sign of the smoke, ayat al-dukhan, and then the coming of the beast, of the dabba. The sun would have the opposite rotation, so it will start rising from the west and setting. So sunrise from the west and sunset in the east. And the very last major sign, is a fire that pushes people towards Sham. So these are the some of the major signs. As I said, this is the Dukhan is one of them. There are other versions, I would say. There's a version which 3 major mega earthquakes, I would call them, because khasf, one in the east, one in the west, and one in the Arabian Peninsula. And Sham is the gathering place ultimately. Now is this, and also the order of these happening also is not the order, not about their happening, that whether they take place or not. The order is it might not be definitive, but we have the smoke, the Dajjal, the creature, etc. So the reference here in Surah Al-Dukhan could be a reference to what happened during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, or simply something that would happen as a major sign of the day. So the Dukhan belongs to Islamic eschatology rather than Islamic to the Seerah as it is. And though the Hadith is itself has been mentioned by in different versions by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Okay, in the different wordings, it was mentioned by narrated by An-Nasa'i and there are those. So it is sound. The Prophet ﷺ in his prayer, in his supplication against the people of Mecca, he mentioned Mudar, a major tribe in the Arabian Peninsula from which many branches existed in Mecca itself. He used to, in the very last rak'ah in the night prayer, Salat al-Isha, he would pray for the safety of Ayyash bin Abi Rabi'a and Al-Walid bin Walid and Salama bin Hisham, and those believers who were the persecuted, al-Mustadafin al-Mu'minin. Then he would make supplication against Mudar and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they would suffer from years like the years of Yusuf alayhi salam, meaning the drought, the famine. People ultimately will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove this punishment, this torment. But the answer is, how can they be reminded when a messenger has already come to them, making things clear? And when they here, their reaction was they turned away from the Prophet ﷺ, calling him a madman, majnoon, but mu'allamun majnoon. I'm afraid that mu'allam, not only that he is taught by others, the meaning here is probably talking about the as if this madness, if you will, this magic, it's from someone, from another source, but they would not accept that it's a divine source at the time. There will be يوم نبطش البطشة الكبرى إنا منتقمون. Then on the day of judgment, we'll deal you the fiercest blow. We will surely inflict punishment. People will be resurrected and they will be punished. And then the Qur'an mentions such people as the people of the Pharaoh. Indeed, before them we tested the Pharaoh's people. A noble messenger came to them, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, of course, with his brother. And he hand over the servants of Allah to me. This Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he wanted to save his own people. Let my people go. Don't enslave them. Don't persecute them. I am truly a trustworthy messenger to you. But of course, the Pharaoh would not accept this call. He would not heed the call. He would immediately he considered himself God. This is the problem. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was commanded, not in this particular context in the Quran, but he was commanded to speak softly, kindly to the Pharaoh, in the hope that he would still change. But he rejected, and when he rejected, and it was obvious that he will not change, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam told him that that he will be finished, mathbura. And Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam told him, do not be arrogant with Allah. I have certainly come to you with a compelling proof. And indeed I seek refuge with my Lord and your Lord, so you do not stone me to death. وَأَلَّا تَعْلُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّي آتِكُمْ بِسُلْطَانٍ مُبِينٍ وَإِنِّي عُذْتُ بِرَبِّي وَرَبِّكُمْ أَن تَرْجُمُونَ وَإِن لَمْ تُؤْمِنُوا لِي فَاعْتَزِلُونَ. But if you do not believe me, then let me be. Ultimately he cried out to his Lord, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, these are a wicked people. فَدَعَا رَبَّهُ أَنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ قَوْمٌ مُجْرِمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded, leave my servants at night. Live with my servants, really, at night with the children of Israel, for you will surely be pursued. فأسر بعبادي لنا إنكم متبعون. This scenario is obvious. واترك البحر رهوا إنهم جند مغرقون, and leave the sea parted, for they are certainly an army bound to drown. Imagine how many. Now they were finished. When the Quran says about them, though it was something that will happen in the very near future, as let's say within a very short period of time, it's something that was done. And imagine what they have done, what they have left behind. How many gardens and springs the tyrants left behind. Vivid description. The tyrants, of course, the Pharaoh and his entourage and his soldiers, and as well as various crops and splendid residences. In fact, they were very wealthy, but of course at the expense of all those slaves also. What they have built in Egypt is literally amazing, but in vain, because all this labor, it's a wasted labor to build these pyramids. It's a wasted labor to build the Sphinx. It's a wasted labor to build Luxor temple, their way of life, rather than heed the call of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. So they lost what they had, and they lost what could have been theirs simply by rejecting Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, rejecting faith, rejecting revelation, as well as various crops and splendid residences and luxuries which they fully enjoyed. And what will be the ultimate result in terms of what happened to their wealth? And we awarded it all to another people. Their civilization ended on a bad note. We don't have Romans, we don't have Byzantines, we don't have. The language is still there. The Greek is spoken by very small people. Latin is not spoken except by scholars and some clergy. So the Roman Empire is finished. The Byzantine Empire is finished. The Persian Empire is finished. Persia itself survived, but and for a long time the Bilad ma bayn al-Nahrain, and talk about the what we call Iran today. We don't talk about the according to the geopolitical map that we have right now, but all these countries were Sunnite until one of the Safavid leaders converted to Shiism, but they were Sunnites. Think about Nishapur, think about Imam al-Haramain al-Juwayni, think about Imam al-Ghazali and his colleagues. And beyond that, all the way to Bukhara. Imam Muslim was from Nishapur. He's in Nisaburi. So their civilization is, was finished. We are the only people who still have the elements of the civilization intact, but it needs simply that spark to revive the civilizational force in the Ummah. And of course, we cannot do that with this disintegration of the will, the spirit of the nation state, which is not really genuinely, it's not really it does not reflect the Islamic worldview, and it might hinder um, the unity of the Muslims when we talk about the political order that sees the nation state uh, as the ultimate expression of the Ummah. It is an alien. It is an alien paradigm, and we awarded it all to another people, and that should be a reminder, really. Then what happened to them? Neither heaven nor earth wept over them, nor was their fate delayed. فما بكت عليهم السماء والأرض وما كانوا منظرين. And the children of Israel were saved from the humiliating torment. I think that it is associated with slavery of the by the Pharaoh, because it says قد نجينا بني إسرائيل من العذاب المهين من فرعون إنه كان عاليا من المسرفين. He was truly a tyrant, a transgressor, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the children of Israel knowingly above the others, and this is something that we need at least to say something about this. Of course, then when they passed by people, when they were saved and passed by people who were worshipping idols, they asked Prophet Moses, peace upon him, to create for them idols like those people. And when Prophet Musa ﷺ went to meet with to receive revelation, that appointment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala away from his people, Samiri created a golden calf for them from the jewelry that they took with them. Some might suggest that the source is problematic. At any rate, it is not that you are chosen and this is it, you can do whatever you want. The Muslim Ummah, their status is conditioned on fulfilling their role. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. So what about this خيرية? What is about this goodness? What's about this? What's special about the Muslims? تأمرون بالمعروف تنهون عن المنكر. You advocate the good, you prohibit evil. So it is conditioned. I was watching simply something that it will never take place in an Islamic setting, a mosque, an institute, a college. So I was watching a video by a Jewish lecturer at the Shalom Hartman Institute. So the video was available on YouTube, and I thought, I like simply to educate myself. And in that video, the speaker, a faculty member at this Jewish institute, said that the Jews, astaghfirullah, crowned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as their God in Sinai after they left Egypt. They crowned God as their Lord. And since then, it's been quite a few years, and I said, had this taken place at a mosque or an Islamic setting by someone, people will not basically sit there and simply take it as the Jewish audience took it, and no one opposed, no one complained, no one. And you know very well that when it comes to opinions, the Jews are very opinionated. They say about themselves, if you have two rabbis, there's a story in their culture. If you have two rabbis discussing something, they might end up with three opinions. at any rate. That is something about this chosenness cannot be, uh, it's not eternal, it's not really valid. When you invalidate it, it stops. Uh, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not reward people for any physical traits, and it will be no supremacy. That's one thing. And of course, also there are stories that are extremely problematic in their scriptures. And I'm going the Amalek story, the story of Joshua, Yusha bin Nun, destroying Jericho, burning it down, killing the people, killing the animals, destroying, burning. This kind of genocide and utter destruction, killing people, killing women, killing elderly, killing children, killing animals, that cannot be revelation. And I think they should be, especially after many of these texts were used in justifying genocide against the Palestinians, especially in the Gaza Strip. They should purge, cleanse their theology from such justification of genocide. The last two verses, وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا لَاعِبِينَ, we did not create the heavens and the earth and everything in between for sport, in vain, for entertainment, without purpose. ما خلقناهما إلا بالحق ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون. We only created them for a purpose, but most of these pagans do not. ولكن أكثرهم, most of these do not know. They will be destined to hellfire, and they will have to consume that zaqqum, that tree, bitter, stinky, and it's in hellfire, but it does not get burned, and they have no choice but to eat it. And their drink is boiling. The food itself, their drink is boiling hot, as if it boils inside their bodies, or it will destroy them from the inside. The problem is that they have no choice but to consume all these things. The believers, those who believe, those who did sincerely things, whether it's worship or things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, granting them that status of muttaqeen, they will be in a beautiful setting, enjoying, whether it's the clothing, whether it's the gardens, the springs, and their spouses, the food, the fruits. No more death, except that what they went through, it's eternity. And if you compare, ultimately, whatever people, all this life, and when they say about the age of the universe is now this, they used to say 13.6 billion years. Now they have adjusted this, they doubled the number, 27.6 approximately billion years. But when you compare, when you divide even mathematically, these billions by infinity, the number is zero. I think it's not the issue is it's nothing compared to what's awaiting the believers in paradise, inshallah. And also infinity in hellfire is they would wish that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala they want to be finished, they want to be destroyed and not to live and get punished forever. And the very last verse says it all, فَارْتَقِبْ إِنَّهُمْ مُرْتَقِبُونَ. Wait then, they too are certainly waiting. So next, inshallah, surah will be Surah Al-Jathiyah, and Imam Ghazali chose 9 verses. Until then, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.